You know what I'm saying?
Just one piece of hair.
He's trying to get it. Woo. Happy Monday, you guys. Happy Motivational Mishy Monday. I have a guest this week. Special guest, my best friend, Garrell Woods.
How you guys doing?
Also known as not the House of Trinity. Tell me again.
I am Garrell Trinity, the father of the House of Trinity.
Father of the House of Trinity.
Yes, there are a lot of great people in that house. A lot of great young minds and artists and talents. And we just come together and we, basically just let each other know that we are not alone in the world. And if your actual family fails you, you have another one to fall back on.
Jarrell's just super talented, like multi-talented, can do all the things.
Thank you.
Like for real. So
I try.
He can do it all. I promise. For real. So I have Garrell on here, and he brought the topic today about motivation through your storms, and he wants to tell us why.
Yeah. So, when first of all, great fan of the show. I love the topics on here. I love that you are using your platform to bring positivity to people, because there's a lot of mess and a lot of foolishness. I've been involved in a lot of mess and foolishness online. It's something, and it's fun, for what it is. But sometimes we do need to have somebody out here trying to spread positivity. So I appreciate that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Now, for me personally, this subject comes very close to me. I've been through a lot of adversity in my life. A lot of people that do know me, that are closer to me, know that I'm a suicide survivor. I have been through some of the darkest storms that a person can endure, and been in the darkest places that somebody could endure in their mind, to the point to where you feel like your life does not have value, and the point where you feel like that you want to end that. But through my experiences and through the help that I received, I was able to come up with these ways of looking at life, because it's all about perspective, honestly. And this new perspective was able to basically save my life, and hopefully it can be useful for some other people.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I've got a couple of different points that I kind of wanted to bring up. The first thing is to be transparent during your storm. Be transparent about your situation. I understand it's really difficult in this day and age, because we live in a time where we're in the flex and flourish culture. Yeah. We're not supposed to struggle. You're not supposed to not have money. You're not supposed to not, be broke. I literally used to sit there and try to say something about, because there used to be people that in the gay community that this thing where we people read each other back and forth about their situations, and it and then one guy was reading, an older guy, older than him he was reading one of my kids, and he's like, I was like, he's 20, right. Yeah, he doesn't have his own car. Yeah, he doesn't have his own place. But you're almost 30. What's your excuse for staying with your mom?
Right.
I said, but here's the thing: it's I don't know your situation, and I'm not going to sit here and try to make you feel bad because you're going through a situation. And we should do that for other people, but there are people that do. But here's the thing about that I've noticed is that people can't hold anything against you that you don't try to hide.
That's true.
If it's common knowledge that I do X, Y, or Z, or that I've done X, Y, and Z, or I'm going through X, Y, and Z,
they can't use it against.
They can't use it against me. Yeah, it's say, oh well, Jarrell did blah blah blah. Everybody knows that. Right.
Right.
That's Jarrell was broke and had to wear the same pair of pants for 3 months. I'm like,
right, and
I watched them.
I watched them. No, for real. I think there's just a sense of just pride too when it comes to. There's a sense of I don't want people to know because I don't want them to use it against me. But there can also be a sense of pride of just well, I don't want people to know that I'm struggling because I am this figure, or I am this person who's known to be. I feel like I've sometimes felt this way. People know me as a motivator. They know me as a positive person. They know me. They know me. They know me. And so I'm well, I'm struggling too, yo. But I feel like I can't say that.
I'm struggling too, yo.
I feel like I can't say that because. I'm supposed to be this
how
person.
are you? How am I supposed to listen to you? And you're the motivator, and you can't motivate yourself.
Right.
But that, like I said before, motivation actually is external. It's a stimuli, And so, in order for you to receive that, sometimes you need it from other people.
That's true.
And sometimes motivators need motivation.
That's true.
And
yes.
and the only way they're going to receive that is if they are transparent, because you can't heal what you don't reveal.
So
Say if I don't tell you, then how am I supposed to
to help you.
Help,
How
you
am I
know.
supposed- yeah. How are you supposed to go through the storm? Like, you can't go through it alone.
Right.
Like, honestly, I've definitely tried it before. Like, I'll just go through it on my own. Like, I'll be good, whatever. Look, no,
And
you
then,
really need those people.
There are some times where you do need to exercise caution and exercise. But here's the thing: there's no sense
That's true.
And when I'm saying be transparent, that doesn't mean go around complaining and telling everybody your business.
No, that's true. Not everybody needs to know everything.
Not everybody's, because here's
You
the
know?
thing: it's like, honestly, if I'm talking to you about my situation and telling you something about it, then I believe that in some way you should be able to help me. Whether it be just offering your kind words,
Right.
whether just being there for me sometimes, just showing
Yeah.
up and just sitting with me while to let me know that someone cares, or sometimes this person might have financial means to help you, but they're not gonna know that you need it unless you say something. And honestly, if anybody does want to say, well, you broke, you going through, okay, I am, but this is temporary.
Yeah.
And then the next point I wanted to make is to be happy on the way to happy. You got to choose the better thought. Think of your failures and shortcomings as opportunities to improve instead of thinking them as failures and shortcomings. Like, for instance, for me, when I ran into the situation where I was like deeply betrayed, and I still feel this way, this is how I feel, this was my experience. And this isn't an indictment on anyone else, but my experience is I felt betrayed, I felt undervalued, and I felt that I was greatly mistreated by an organization that I worked with, and I spent a lot of time and years investing energy and time and effort in, and sometimes even doing free work, even though I couldn't really afford to do anything for free because I believed in the vision of this organization. But they, through whatever means, decided to just suddenly not use me anymore, and I was very upset about this, but I could have chosen to just think of it from the negative, but I was like, well, you know what? While I was there, I learned to work lights. I learned to work sound. I learned how to do lighting design. I learned how to stage shows. I learned how to, like, there's a lot of things that I use now in my life that came from this, what could have been thought of as a failure, but I looked at it as an opportunity. You got to choose a better thought. There's always something good to think about, even when there's things that are bad. You know what I mean? And you have to choose that thought. You have to actively make that decision.
Yeah. And that's difficult. I think, like, when you're in the midst of it, we kind of talked before the podcast, we cheated. But, like, we slightly cheated. But, I mean, we talked about how, like, when there's so much coming at you, like, when it rains, it pours. You know what I'm saying?
Just want this to hair.
He's trying to get it. But we talked about how when it rains, it pours. Like, sometimes, like, it's not just one thing that's hitting. It's, like, one after the other after the other. So it can be hard to be, like, how do I,
Right. I mean, specifically for me, I went through a situation where I had to basically, I went through a situation where I made the decision to drive, even though my license was suspended. I got pulled over in Georgia. So they couldn't just let me do an OR bond. They had to take me in. So my car got impounded. My car was impounded for 72 days because I still had to maintain bills and stuff like that on top of that, as well as pay all the fees to make sure to get my license back. And I wasn't going to get my car out until I made sure I could be able to drive it, right? So literally thousands of dollars later, I've come out on the other end, and it seemed like it was hard because every time I would like, okay, I paid this, and they'd be like, wait, you still need that. Okay, I paid that. Wait, you still need this.
Dang.
I paid that. Wait, you still need that.
Like, it's at one after the other.
Yeah, it was really difficult to remain positive in that time, but I kept having to think to myself about the fact that you made this decision, Jarrell. You are the master of your own reality, and these are the consequences of your own decisions. And the bright side of this is once you do the work, once you pay the fees, once you do the court dates, and you are done with it, you're done with it.
Yeah.
You're free.
You're free.
I'm free. I got my license back now. I got my car back now. I can hop in that bad boy, drive off, and go and do it. Like, it was so cool, like, to be able to hang out at my sister's house and then FaceTime with Mishy, and she's just like, oh yeah, I'm at the house. I'm like, oh well, let me come through, and I can just hop in my car and just go. Like, and it's like by the time she gets tired of me, I can hop in my car and go home, and that freedom only came from just me going and just making sure to just handle my business and deal with what I had to deal with. And the last thing that I want to talk about as far as being motivated through your storm is just don't make permanent decisions based on momentary discomfort. It's a wise phrase that my friend Kerosene has said to me that I live my life by. Literally, during your storm, the universe will give you opportunities to make some decisions to make your situation worse.
Reckless.
Reckless decisions.
Recklessness is so easy.
It's easy,
moment.
right?
It's so easy.
Because it's like, it's so easy to just say, forget it. It's so easy to just say, man, forget the consequences.
Right.
Whatever
works.
Right. I need something. I need this now. I need to make, I need to get through this now. And a lot of times, like, we make poor decisions, like, in a storm, because that's when we'll be driven to steal or to lie or to manipulate. All for the sake of, like, oh, well, I'm going through something, and you think it's justified somehow because you're going through something and this other person isn't. But by you doing these things to them, you're causing them harm. You're bringing your storm to them. But here's the thing about storms is no matter how loud they are, no matter how much, it seems like the thunder is shaking the windows and the lightning is setting the trees on fire. All storms are temporary. The clouds will break. The sun will come through eventually. No storm lasts forever.
You better preach.
No storm lasts forever. But at the end of that storm, your decisions of how you chose to react to it will last. What you become while you were in that, how you treated your friends, your family, the people that tried to help you
my goodness.
during that storm will last. And you do not want to make those decisions because they will permanently alter your future, the way people think of you, so you have to be mindful of that. Even during your storm, it's not an excuse for you to forget who you are. It's not an excuse for you to treat other people badly. It's not an excuse for you to pass your storm along to someone else. This is sent from you by the universe, by God, for you to learn your lesson, for you to take away from that what you need, so that you could give this testimony to someone else. I went through everything I went through so that I could sit here today and tell you all the things that I learned. Literally. That is what the whole purpose
testimony.
Of it is. Won't he will?
It's a testimony. But yes. But, like, I love that you turned that around. I love that you were like, I went through everything that I went through, so I'm able to sit here and encourage someone else. And it was, that's the positive side of that. Jarrell can sit here and be like, I went through all that, and it still hurt, or I'm still bitter about this and all this, but you choose the positive thought, and you choose to be like, this is exactly why I went through what I went through.
I mean, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm going to lie and say that I don't get bitter sometimes.
At least you are.
I would be bitter sometimes. Sometimes I see them people that did me wrong, and boy, they everything but a child of God. But my life has not stopped. My life will not harm. My dreams will not stop. My goals will not be hindered because I'm going through a storm. And I can tell you that your dreams won't stop. Your goals won't be hindered. And you don't have to be what's happened to you. You can still be who you are.
Wow. I love Jarrell so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing all those tips. I'd like to add the last point that you made. We were talking about it, and I was saying that when I think about going through storms and motivating myself, I always think about past storms, so previous storms. So when I'm in the midst of the storm now, it's different than my other storms, right? But I'm like, okay, but I was able to make it through, right? So if I was able to make it through this one, and this one, and this one, I can surely make it through this one as well.
Right.
So it may be shorter, it may be longer, who knows how long the storm will be, but at least if I can make it through those other ones, I can surely make it through.
I can make it through this one too.
Yep. So
I mean, that's just the same as a true storm in life. When your first experience, your very first one as a child, you don't know what's going on. Right. It's terrifying. Yeah. But then later on, you're able to ride the rest of those things out.
Yeah, it's just based off of experience too.
Right.
It's like you've experienced them so often. It's like, okay, I've gone through hardship before. This is how I'm going to handle it now. Like, maybe I handled it wrong before, but I have a chance to do it right this time.
Exactly.
So yeah. I'm so happy. Thank you guys so much thank you, Jarrell, for just your wisdom and just your support, like, and love. I always feel so happy, like a fluffy cloud around here. I do. I just feel so lighthearted.
Good. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you feel good.
Yes.
I'm glad you feel motivated.
Yes. So you guys, please go follow Jarrell. Follow him at Garrell Woods. Tell us all the handles. I only know Garrell Woods.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, that's okay. On Instagram.
GarrellWoods. Google me.
I'll put it in the comments. And because that was really quick. So I'll put all of that in the comments. Follow him. Follow his journey. Follow his art. Go to shows that he's in. He's just amazing. He does so many things. He just described like lights. All this stuff. He does all the things. So please go follow him. And also, he also does a podcast as well.
$2.25 change.
So y'all go follow that because it just dropped yesterday.
Yeah, new episode.
So please go follow that. Listen to all those amazing topics with all those amazing guests. I'm also on there. I hope you have a great rest of your week, a great rest of your Monday. Stay motivated. I love you. See you next week.
Bye.